before we got into a relationship. They never mentioned that.
Well, if they lied to Phil, now if they lie to you and they haven't shown, then I really think I think you should dump them.
Because then they might just be using you.
Honestly, I know I've known when she's been lying to me so many times. It's just like because I'm so freaking hard coded in my mind to have battered wife syndrome. I always forgive people like Big Assets or people like her. Like I for some reason I'm always going back to my abuser and feeling like it was my fault or something like that.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's. I don't think it's more so that you've been groomed or anything. I just think it's more so you've been kind of traumatized by that in the past, and that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, take my experience, for example. I could have kept lying to myself about this person. I could have tried to keep loving them and eventually get my heart ripped out of my chest after realizing that, but I just didn't. I took the information that was given to me and I was like, you know what? This was fun and I'm happy I got to do this. And I'll see you when I see you. And thus they blocked me. And I realized it later.
Yeah, and for all we know, they could be unfaithful also.
Mm-hmm. They could be very unfaithful, Jordan.
Oh yeah, like seriously, they've been lying to you constantly and like don't share everything. They probably have like zero respect for you.
They might give you something, but that doesn't mean they really, really like you.
Yeah,
I think the sad thing is that I'm just aware of all of this, and it's just like I just kind of.
You can't stop it.
Well, it's kind of like I'm a very self-aware person. I'm completely aware of things. Like
I am too, and I understand that.
I'm aware of all of this. It's just like I'm at a point where I just don't care anymore.
You don't want change. It's less that you don't care. It's more that you don't want change. Because
I'm autistic. What do you expect? Of course, I suck at wanting change.
I am too. I am too. That I am too, and I know that.
I'm not autistic, but I also
basically you're telling me that you don't want change. You don't want to move that. You don't want to move from that. You don't want to try.
It's also you gotta take into account the fact that I've wanted a girlfriend for a long time, and part of me just doesn't want to be back to being a virgin, I guess, and so that's the only reason I've.
You don't want change.
And also, it's kind of the same thing with Big Assets. Why I didn't leave him, it's because he was giving me a ton of support and money, and I already had commissions I still had to do. So despite him trying to catfish me,
with Big Assets, you had a reason, but with this girl, this random person, she is eating at you, and you need to change.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't change you.
We haven't really talked.
I can't change you unless I do something drastic. I can't change you.
I'm not expecting you to change anything.
I know, but through my own actions, I could definitely change the way that you see your girl. And she's no girl. She's just she's using you. You don't want to change from it, and you can't find someone else. And I get that.
And not to be transphobic, but they're literally a man also.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
So
get rid of them. They're eating at you. You can't accept that. So I would love it.
What do you mean I can't accept it? I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully aware
of it, but you're not doing anything.
Because I don't. I have better things to focus on. My work's more important than this drama.
But you keep talking about it.
You're just like trying to make me get into something I don't want to get into right now. I have better things to worry
You
about.
can get out of something so easily.
I don't. We're not even talking to each other. We haven't talked to each other in a while. She's the one that messages me most of the time now.
Now get out of there.
I'm not bothered.
Get out of there.
Yeah,
you don't need this. You can find someone else.
You're not
so many people
No,
out there.
I won't. It took me 18 years to find someone. It's like I'm never going to find anyone else. I'm bad with making new friends. I'm never going to have anyone else.
No, you're gonna have somebody else. There are people out there that definitely would love you.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
No, no, there's
bro!
not.
Bro,
Especially
Bro,
people
I
in my
love you. I love you
generation.
as a
They're
bro.
all freaking.
Yeah. We're coming to you as lifelong friends, and we're here to prop you up and say you're gonna be fine. Everything
You're gonna
is
live.
going to. Yeah.
Hunter Rouge can definitely tell you right now that you're gonna live.
Oh yeah, we can
Hunter
get.
Rev can tell you that there's so many people out there waiting for you.
I can get
Big
Hunter right
assets.
now.
Okay, I
Tell you
don't.
that.
Well, that requires me to put into effort to actually freaking, like, actually, you know, I'm
You
not
can't
gonna
expect
find someone online again.
everything
That's
to
what
come
bothers
to you.
me. I don't want to.
Well,
You have to get out of that mindset, dude. You'll find somebody. There will always be fish in the sea.
yeah, and
Be available.
yeah, and I think Toriel likes you also.
No,
There will always be people out there for you. This person just isn't it.
Yeah,
This
I
person
know
can't help you.
I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's true. And once you do this, you'll feel a lot better about yourself.
Exactly. And you won't talk about it you won't talk about it so much to us.
I haven't talked to you about this in like months. This is the first time I mentioned it.
First
Yeah,
time.
so we
But still.
wanted to make sure you were doing okay, like outside of SFM and other stuff.
Yeah.
We
This
care
is
about
eating
you.
at you.
We're
Like, I
friends.
It's eating. I don't want to spend
You're starting
like
to
another
accept it.
freaking. I don't want to worry about getting a girlfriend again. Okay, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to feel lonely again.
You don't need a girlfriend. You have us.
Yeah,
You have people that love you.
You will. Yeah, it'll just be it'll just be temporary,
Well, I
Jordan.
can't
And then-
screw you guys. I can't talk to you. I can't flirt with you guys. I can't do that.
Dude,
with them.
I would suck your dick. I've sucked my buddy's dick. I would suck
That's
yours.
gay.
in a
I'm not into that. I'm straight.
I would make a pussy. no, I can't do that. I could find you somebody.
Well, okay. Well, we can note this, Jordan. You're bi, but you lean straight. We get that, though.
No, I'm not.
He's fully straight. Megatank. He's fully straight. I would find you somebody.
Kind of confused. Sorry. Yeah, you'll definitely. I mean, there's you can talk to the girls that are on the server.
Exactly. They're people.
I'm not good with talking to new people unless they come to me. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. Like, you have to hear me out here.
I can't let you.
Yeah. No, we understand. We can both kind of be like that sometimes, and trust us. It's we don't like that feeling either.
Hello,
sometimes
E.
it's true. If we want to get somewhere, we have to act. We have to do something. We might be nice
act
guys,
about what?
but we have to act. Well, getting people, finding a girlfriend, finding someone to be with. This person that you're with is not going to give you anything because they're only interacting with you day in and like fucking not day in day out. No, they're just interacting with you monthly. My girlfriend at the time was daily. She kept talking to me, and
She was also grooming you.
Pretty much, yeah. But through the actual relationship we had, she was talking to me, and I felt that genuineness. And I felt like that was how a relationship should be. They were doing the right thing with the relationship.
Well, when you're abused your whole life, you tend to not know what a real relationship is.
I understand that. So get out of that mindset. I get it. I get it that something happened in your life that's so shitty, and I get it. I get it. And that's your past, and that's something you gotta live with.
Yeah, and here's the thing about
I've had the same thing. We don't need to dwell so much on it. We don't need to dwell so much on it.
If you just focus on the past, then you can't be able to then you'll never be able to focus on the present.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which is why you gotta focus on. This is why you gotta focus on the president of the
It's
past,
fucking
because if you just focus.
12:26, and I just wanted to have a good night, and now this shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're really sorry for coming out rude. We care. We're trying to help you, and we really want you to be happy and have the best life.
I'm not
Pretty
saying you're
much.
wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just I don't.
You don't know how much you want to go through this right now. And I agree. I think it'd be
Yeah,
better to do this
we're
in
not.
like the afternoon, in the morning
Yeah,
or something.
So do
Yeah,
you
we're
really
not.
want me to go to work tomorrow and have this on my mind constantly while I'm just sitting there depressed and upset? Well, I can't do anything because I'm sitting there for 5 hours doing this job when I should probably just be thinking
Uh,
of positive shit. And then I'll come home depressed. That's what happened on Sunday. That's exactly what happened on Sunday because of drama shit. And that's what happened on Wednesday until Hunter Rev helped me feel better later in the day. You know, because of all the shit with Winter happened. Because you guys, well, Hunter tried to force, you know, this bury the hatchet I didn't want because I didn't care anymore, and it made things worse. You know, and
hmm
I mean, like
I'm not.
I don't think you guys are wrong. Here's the thing, I don't think you guys are wrong. But it's just like I don't. How do I put this?
You can't do this at the moment of time.
We understand.
So that means that we're gonna need to do this sometime soon. And I'm tired of waiting.
But
Tired
So-
of waiting. This is my life, not yours. Why do you care so much?
Because I care about you.
Yeah.
And if you care about me, you should know that I care about you.
Yeah. Same here.
I just personally think that I like, you know what, I let people do things even if I think they're wrong because at the end of the day I'm their friend and I feel like I'll understand their decision. That's what I feel all the time.
And I get it. There's
Yeah.
some moments in that, and I get what you're trying to do, but I'm not backing down. I care about you, and I genuinely want to see you happy. And I feel like this person is this constant is a tumor. And if you get rid of it, if you scoop it out, you can find somebody. You can be more available.
I'm not gonna find a new girlfriend with the current dating market. Like all women my generation hate men. You really think I'm gonna find a new girlfriend in this market?
You could
In this
probably find
market, that's no reason to think. That's no way to think. All fish in the sea are available. You just gotta try.
I mean, you could find a woman who's 25 for all we know.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of girls are into weird stuff.
And that's the problem.
There are some.
That's the exact
That's
problem.
fine. That's fine.
They won't. They'll find they don't. A lot of people aren't compatible with me. Like a good majority of people aren't, and that's the problem. That's my exact problem, and it's more like I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this here so I kind of have a status
or some of the
symbol.
people that have a bit of your
But-
qualities, but also have some of their qualities.
Yeah.
Like they might be into face sit, they might be into farts, but they're not exactly into vor. They don't care about it. They don't give a damn, and they might not like the whole animation thing. But that's fine. Or they might be a fan of animation. They might be a really big fan of characters, but they're not a fan of the ass and farts. That's fine.
Yeah.
You'll find somebody.
And
if they wanna care about you, they'll care
me
about
out of
you.
doing this stuff,
And
then I
their
won't talk to you
qualities
guys
don't
ever again.
matter because they want to care.
Jordan, they
about
could
you.
even love
And you
it.
can eventually change them. You can push them to see your own kinks.
No,
But
we'll
then
just
you have to
break
take
up.
the time
We'll
to
just
see
break up.
theirs.
That's what will happen, and that's what will happen. From
Just
my
push it.
current experience with every relationship I've had with someone, it's always
gotta keep
ended
moving,
with people
and
treating me like shit.
Well, those
I
ones
have to keep moving.
What?
I have to keep moving. You know, a lot of this advice is just stuff I should be listening to too, but I'm not because I guess
Then why are you giving me it?
I'm giving it to you because I care about
Yeah,
you. I don't care about myself that
And
much.
you don't think I know
Yeah,
all of this
we have-
already?
Mhm.
I'm
sounds
smart.
like you don't.
I know a lot of this already. I'm a very smart person. I'm a very aware person.
then that means if you were smart, then why are you still in that relationship?
Because I have better things to focus on, and because there's benefits to it. You know, having a status symbol so no one calls you a virgin or an incel. Because
That's
you can say I have a
status?
girlfriend.
That's just being paranoid of other people's opinions about yourself.
Yeah,
You
because
shouldn't be.
because that's happened before, where people accuse me of that, even though I'm not that, and it pisses me off.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all because those people are just incels. They're just pathetic.
Who are probably really insecure, and probably think they're smarter than everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you care about those people that just give you a random insult saying that you're an incel? You don't have anybody, and that doesn't matter.
I guess it was because Mara
Doesn't
said that to
matter.
me. Mara said that to me in 2020, and I have a lot of history with her, and it pisses me off.
You have a lot of history with her, but it's time to let go.
Yeah.
Or hold on to it. Actually, no.
Well, it's just-
hold on to it for
it's
better
just-
experiences. Learn from her.
Yes. Yeah. Don't learn from your mistakes, but don't let these people hold power over you, even though you've let them go.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't
that's
let them
very
live
much what you're
rent free
doing.
in your head.
Oh my God.
It's okay, dude. It's okay if you need to cry. It's perfectly fine.
Mega thank.
I don't need to cry. I just can't explain my thoughts right now. You guys are all talking over me, and it's pissing me off.
That's completely understandable, but I mean, your thoughts would probably dive you deeper. Would dive you
Diving
deeper into your
I was
own.
going to play the game, and now I can't focus on it because of this.
Exactly.
It's pissing me
Which
off.
is
I wanted
why
to
I-
enjoy tonight. I didn't want to deal with this shit.
Well, we
Like,
want
I
to
already
help. We want
wasted
to-
an hour on shit today. Like, I don't need this right now. It's like,
Well, we just wanted to give you some advice and kind of help you open up. But if you want to play games
you
and
know what?
relax,
You know what? I'm being a little bit dickish here because the thing is, I know you guys are trying to help. It's just like I know what you're gonna say. You know, I know you're trying to help though. I appreciate it. And
no. We're sorry if we came on too hard and too quick, but if you just want to play games, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine. And you've always got us to talk to and stuff.
there's just certain aspects that you may not understand where I just.
No,
It's
I
not
get
as
what
simple as telling the person, "Oh yeah, we're gonna break up because my friends told me to." It's not as simple as that, or I'm gonna break up because I know you're bad for me. There's like you have attachments to people. You are working on projects with them that you would rather get released and get done. You're involved with them. They're changing as a person a little bit more. They've kind of changed a bit. And you're not really having much issue with them that much anymore because you're talking to other people who give you the pleasure you need.
All right.
I mean,
Then how about this? Ask them, do they love you? Do they actually love you?
I don't know. I have asked a few times before in the past, and she said yes. But yeah, I'll ask that. I mean,
Ask some
like
more.
I said, we
Do
don't
they
really
love you?
talk that much. I mean, to be honest, all she's asking is, "Oh, I need cave-ins," and that's all she frickin' says most of the time. And
Wait, what does she need?
I don't know. Honestly, you're kind of right when you say she's probably using me. I'm fully aware of that. That's why I'm focused. Like she's telling me, "Oh, I need cave-ins." It's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm doing my commissions right now.
During, maybe if you break up, if we can send her a picture of Wings of Redemption's ass.
Yeah, but the point is it's just not like, if you're working on someone with something that you'd rather not have a falling out at this moment,
Then don't fall out. Let them go lightly, like I did. Literally just say, hey, I'm considering maybe breaking up sometime soon because I don't see this relationship going that far.
We don't really talk
You
as
wanna
much anymore, so it's
I
kind of...
know that. I know that.
Well,
now tell them
what is
that. Let them know.
What is this project you're working on? We could probably do a better job.
It's Five Nights at Fredbear's free. She's supplying a lot of shit for it, and that's the problem.
We can easily supply stuff for you.
You don't know how to make models. You guys don't know how to like do a lot of that shit.
Megatank,
know-
no. No, Megatank, no. What I'm trying to say is that after Fredbear's 3, do it. Because then you're done. You can be done. And you can find somebody else. Because, gosh darn it, you don't interact with this person. This person is over online. This person is not even a girl.
Mm-hmm.
They're
They
a
don't care
dude. They're a
about you.
transgender person. So you're already basically gay.
Well,
And
what?
basically, I mean, like they train.
Oh, is it? I mean, by your ideology standard, that's transphobic. But you know, I personally don't follow that shit. But yeah, you're
Exactly, and that's kind of like a barrier.
Well, I find it
That's a
funny.
little bit.
I find it funny. Mara goes on about morals and shit like that, and about transphobia. And then she said when she saw her when she saw my girlfriend's messages, she's like, this person sounds like a man. It's like, oh yeah, and that's kind of
Wow, that's so moral.
yeah, that's kind of
Like-
the hypocrisy.
No, I mean,
It's kind of showing no matter what you do. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
yeah,
I'm kind of in help mode, so.
No, we're not trying to like hate trans people. It's just
No, I'm not
we're-
saying you
person.
are. I'm not saying you
no,
are.
no, but
We're not trying to hate trans people. We're just
We're
saying that this
pointing out
person
that
is bad.
they happen to
That's
be
not what
a trans.
Come on,
Well,
guys. I'm not getting at that. I don't like. Even if you did, I wouldn't even care. You do realize it, right? I'm so chill.
Yeah, I know, but the irony is you say you're straight though.
Oh, well, yeah, because I didn't know at first, and as soon as I found out, I was like, okay, I don't really care for this person anymore, and
Yeah,
that's what I did. That's why I
You
told
don't care
you I
for
like.
them.
That's why
You don't care for them.
Yeah.
And you don't love them.
Yes, Jordan, you're driving us crazy.
Pretty much, yeah. You're driving us both crazy. Dude, get rid of her. Get rid of them.
Because
Get rid of you.
Okay, so it's 12 for. Oh god damn it! Oh my fucking god!
Get rid of it. This voice shall be playing in your head over and over and over again of me
Can
just
you
saying,
please
"Get rid
fuck
of
off?
I'll fuck off." Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll fuck off till like later. Fucking. Geez. All right, Megatank. What do you think would be a better time to talk about this? Like,
when I'm not having work tomorrow, when I'm trying to enjoy my night here, and then this shit's being brought up. That's not really the best time for it. For you guys to call me a fag and shit like that. Yeah, I enjoy that.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Wait.
Yeah, you
Jordan.
guys were. You're like saying, "Oh yeah, you're gay because she's trans."
We were joking about it.
We were joking about that, dude.
Yeah.
We were joking about that. We're not calling you out on it. We're joking about that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, a better time, Megatank, let us stop here.
Sure.
A better time to talk about this would probably be like on one of the weekdays, one, where Jordan doesn't have work, and two, where it can be all of us. So a time where we can just focus on that and that.
Yeah, so you can all gang up on me? Is that it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's time to do the help circle.
Yeah.
Help! I don't need help. I'm aware of my situation. I know what I'm gonna do. You're giving me all this tough love shit. You do realize tough love doesn't work on me, right? I see it as an attack. I don't see this as something good. I see this as something bad right now. I'm just trying to enjoy my night, and I have to deal with this shit, and now I'm pissed off at both of you.
That's completely understandable. Yeah. Tough love isn't... I mean, I don't know if this really is tough love. Because we want to help. We just want to push someone out that's constantly hurting you.
Yeah.
This isn't the hill that you should be dying on. This person isn't worth it.
The hill I'm dying on. How am I dying on? I'm just saying that I don't want to talk about this, and I just want to be left alone right now. And you guys are interfering into something.
Pretty much, we're pulling you out of it.
Sorry, we keep going in circles. Look, Zap, Jordan is right.
It's just like I don't care. That's the thing you need to understand. Like I barely talk to them anymore. There's literally no point in having all this drama. It's like, it's fine here's the deal. If I find someone I really like, then I'll break up because it obviously haven't been working out. But the point is that it's like we just barely talk to each other anymore, and it's like it's like a non-issue at this point. It's like
you can also just say, "Can we just be friends?" Also, like from you though.
Oh,
what? Yeah, you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, just be friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, be friends with the person that treated me like shit. Yeah, that's a great idea.
That means get rid of them.
No,
this is just like the whole winter thing all over again right now.
Jordan, we get that you feel torn, and we're sorry if we brought this up at a bad time. We're just trying to look out for you, and if you want, we can let you enjoy playing Battlefield, and we just want to let you know we are here for you 24/7 whenever you need us.
Pretty much, exactly the best way to say it, Megatank.
It's literally spent the last 26 minutes on this. This freaking here on freaking oh god, yeah, this is all on freaking stream too. That's great. Now, I was joining in thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a good time, and this happens. You know what? I get you're trying to help me. Honestly, I don't blame you. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm just being a little rude and shit. It's just I'm just trying to have a good time right now, and this happens.
We're sorry. This just kind of came up.
It's more of a thing. This is like you're kind of just telling me information I already know. It's like
you know it, but you refuse to act on it.
Because there's literally no point in acting on it right now. There's literally no benefit to it.
I mean, you might see it that way, but
we brought it up just because this is kind of our first time hearing about how everything's kind of been going, and we, as friends, were naturally concerned about you.
Well, it's just like, Zap, you don't have attachments to this person. It's easier for you to say it. It's not as easy as it seems.
It's easier for me to say it? Bro, it fucking hurt realizing that Luna was a fucking groomer.
Well,
I love them. I genuinely love them. If you think I can't understand it, bro, who are you talking to?
I don't think you don't understand it. I just feel like I
think he just means the position he's stuck in.
You're stuck in a position with this person, and that means that it's best to just do
that's what I mean.
You can
Thank
with
you,
that.
Do
what you can with that. If you're stuck there, do what you can, and then get out of that stuck position, and then get out of there.
Yeah, do the Fredbear free thing we suggested.
Okay. Yeah.
Get out of there after Fredbear's 3.
Yeah. Things could change between them, but just if it hasn't changed after the release, come to us and we can help you. Okay? How's that?
Yeah, it's just like, honestly, what pissed me off is when you said, "Oh, you're gay." Like, oh yeah, I didn't know they were a man. I didn't know that.
No, Jordan, we're sorry. We were just kind of trying to joke around, to kind of lighten the mood. We're sorry. We were joking. We really didn't mean to harm you by saying that. We were just playing around. It's kind of like
it's hard to take it as a joke when it's in a serious situation like this. Like it's like when you're in a Marvel movie and out of nowhere they just bring up a joke. It's like, and there's no clear indication it was a joke, so I didn't take it as such.
I don't know. It might be trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because hey, like serious drama is serious, and it's really, really hard to like stay in that mode.
You know what happened with Big Assets after frickin' I found out they were catfishing me? Every single time I tried to jack off, I kept imagining there was a guy behind it, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't have any enjoyment in it. And then when this happens, and you guys mentioned that, of course I'm gonna be upset about it. Like like you know this person, you think you want to love this person so much, and then you look back at your past thoughts, and then you just imagine if you just
Okay, we're here. We're here for you.
you just imagine a fucking guy behind it, and you just fucking feel so fucking disgusted with yourself, and you just just every relationship you've ever had, just fucking horrible. It's just you don't feel like it's ever gonna change. I I just wanted to have a good fucking night. That's all I fucking wanted. That's all I fucking wanted. Sick and tired of this fucking drama, man. Probably
We're
just
here for
gonna
you.
do probably just gonna do horrible in the fucking game anyways. Fucking hate myself.
Bro, don't say that.
Fucking mom had to emotionally abuse me my whole fucking life.
Yeah, I'm really sorry you had to go. I'm really sorry you had to go for that, Jordan. Jordan, I'm just curious, do you do therapy?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I mean, because I will say this, I'm hard to believe most psychiatrists will keep everything you've told them unless it like breaks law personal. And have you ever talked to them about like how your relationship or stuff like that, or just your stresses or traumas? Like, have you ever really opened up to them?
I have. It's fucking. I.
Okay, has talking with them helped?
I don't. I don't know, man. I just feel so horrible right now. I just wanted to have a good fucking night. I just wanted to get my mind off things. That's all I fucking wanted.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you guys just so I could have commentary, and now I'm just fucking crying, and it's fucking, now I keep being stressed out about the time because I just wanted to enjoy the time I had after fucking work, and it's fucking 12:49, and I'm sorry.
No, it's
us that
fine.
should apologize.
Yeah, we're sorry. We were just trying to help, was all.
We wanted to help. I wanted to help.
Yeah,
Megatank,
and it's fine.
holy
And
shit, you're doing a great job.
And Jordan, it's completely okay to cry. It's good for you, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You get that emotion.
I'm sorry if I'm just. What?
No.
Say what you're gonna say, Jordan.
I'm
Say what you're
sorry.
gonna say.
I'm sorry if I've just been. If I lashed out at you guys, I've just fucking.
No. Jordan, if it's
You've been
Jordan,
through a lot. You've been through a
Yeah.
lot, and it hurts, and I understand that pain.
Jordan, if it's just been really emotional, I mean, if it's possible, you can call your boss and say you won't be able to comment because you just really aren't feeling. You feel like you aren't like emotionally well for work, and say you need like a day.
It should be fine tomorrow. It's just. I don't know. When you deal with this pain every single day, you kind of just get used to it.
Yeah, we actually we really like you. You're a great guy. You're a creative person. You're funny, and we look out for you and we love you dearly as a friend.
I know you do. I'm sorry if I was just being like. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just like so tensed up. I was so horny. I just can't think straight. I just
Yeah. How about maybe well we're a few months, maybe like get something to drink or like maybe take a shower or something like that. And we're here for you. We're sorry if we like really like broke you or anything. We just really care about you, look out for you, and want you to have like a healthy life, basically.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I never said you were wrong about any of that. You're right, and I'm aware of that. It's just like I just there's just not the time to talk about it, and it's just not the time to act right now because I just
Yeah, we're really sorry about
it was just a minor inconvenience today at best. That was the thing.
everything.
I've been complete. It hasn't been to the point where it was before, where she was insulting me, but I don't know.
Well, it just is. We're sorry kind of about the job, but it's just we both know what you've kind of been through. And like we both had similar situations. We both felt like can't leave stuff, things like that. And yeah, we get how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's just a lot of backstory I'd have to explain for you guys to
No,
fully understand my thought
no,
process.
we get and stuff like that, and like why you are the way you are, though.
We understand. We get it. We've had our own experiences, and we can take our own experiences and understand yours. Yours is very understandable
Yeah.
because we've just seen it. We've
We
imagined it
both had to
ourselves, and we know.
we both had to deal with like toxic people that we were kind of afraid to like just kind of start like standing up to, basically.
Mm-hmm. And it sucks when that type of person is a parent and they're supposed to take care of you when in
Yeah.
actuality they do something terrible like that. And that sucks. I'm
Which is
sorry
why
for that pain.
Just
we're your support group.
I've just had to grow up my entire life just not trusting anyone, just feeling so freaking depressed and feeling all this normal shit is I don't know. It's
Well,
just like every time that something happens that's not my fault, I always blame myself because I'm so used to things that aren't my fault being blamed on me, and I just
well, I mean,
self-deprecate.
you did say you're seeing a therapist about that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Well,
helped.
have they given you any like coping
All,
advice?
all, what? I,
Have they given you any coping strategies?
yeah, they have. I've tried them and they've worked. It's just honestly, the only thing that makes me happy is seeing my projects do good. That's the only thing that makes me happy anymore, and that's why That's why I had
Well,
such a mood boost last month. It's because Five Nights at Chica's did so well, and I've never had that in like for years. And
do you take medication?
no, that fucked me up. That made things so much worse for me back in 2018 to 2019.
Uh, it might change, but I just want to say, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm trying to say you need to take meds, but just from my experience, meds and like those strategies work for me, though. But I am glad to know that you are talking to this about a therapist. It's good that you're open about this. Right, Zach?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know. There's a lot I want to say about it, but at the same time, I'm not really like in the right state to keep it all like
Well,
condensed.
you can always like write down your thoughts on like a Microsoft Word document or a notepad or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I can. It's just like I'm not really sure if you
Oh,
know,
I
Get it
mean,
out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. I can't. I feel like I need other people to tell me I'm good if to feel good about myself, and that's my
Well,
biggest
I'm like the,
weakness.
I'm
I
like
can't. I
the,
can't. I think all my opinions are wrong. I think all my. I think everything
we're
I
kind of
think
what
is wrong.
everybody wants reassurance. You're not
Everybody
alone.
wants that, yeah. And we'll give you that reassurance.
Yeah.
We can push a lot of folks just to say that you're doing
Yeah,
okay, just to say that you're doing good, that you're
yeah,
changing, that you're making yourself better.
yeah. I paid you $30. I paid you $30 even.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I haven't got started on that yet. I've just been so fucking
No,
busy.
I understand you're only human and you're dealing with other stuff. I know what you're
We can
going
push a lot
through.
of folks.
Is why I'm not being like a rude customer and constantly screaming at you about where my commission is and stuff like that. I know you're not an art machine.
Mm-hmm. You're a human being.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that.
What?
I said thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. And it's okay if you need to. And again, it's okay if you need to cry, but it will help you feel a bit better. Just blow your nose. Trust me, that helps when I'm upset. Also,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just do have a tissue or a sock or something. Just trust me. It'll just clear that out. And also, if it helps, I mean, maybe like make yourself a cup of like instant decaf coffee or tea if you have it. Maybe like take a hot shower, stuff like that. Heck, you can even like go to bed early to get some rest sometimes, because that helps me too.
All I wanted to do was just play the game and have a good time. And it's first the PC crashed, and now this. And also earlier today I had to deal with shit in Minecraft that was really pissing me off, and that wasted an hour of time. So that wasn't really good.
Okay, well, we hear about you, but let me ask: would you like us to? Do you want us to leave, or do you want us to stay?
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I feel like I'll feel worse if I play the game by myself because I won't be able to outfocus the fact that I play like shit.
Well, whatever. Are there any like single player games you like to play?
Yeah, there's plenty, but I want to play this game. Um, you know?
So, have you done the campaign?
No, I heard the Battlefield 4 campaign was shit.
Uh, you
Um,
could maybe try out a. Is there like a practice server where it's like you and the bots going against each other?
no, there's only that for COD, I guess. I don't know. No,
I know Team Fortress also has that, but yeah,
it does.
yeah. It's like offline practice basically.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, TF2 is still really great. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. It's real fun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I might leave the call, but I just want to say, Jordan, as a friend, as someone who cares, I love you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'll be here if you need me. And I'm sorry if I really upset you, but I want to help. And I'm sorry if you're injury. I care, and I'll try and I'll be sure to keep your schedule more in mind. And if you ever need me, or if you just want to talk about anything, hit me up.
All
Hmm.
right. Yeah, I know. Thank you for that. I'm just, yeah,
It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah. I just really need to piss badly right now. Um,
Okay. Well, go take a piss then.
okay.
Megatank,
Yeah.
it's not your fault. It's not your
Oh,
fault for attacking. It's not. It's
Oh,
not
I
yours.
wasn't even
It's
trying
mine.
to. Uh,
It's mine. I was mainly attacking, and also, bro, you're a king.
I've had similar conversations like this before. Trust
You're
me.
good at this. You're good at this, man. I wish I was as good.
Trust me. Trust me. When you go for your mid-20s, you're gonna go through when you go for your mid-20s. It's gonna be an emotional roller coaster, but it'll be one. But it'll be one that you'll enjoy. But trust me, though.
I trust you. I trust you. You're my elder.
I mean, I do want to give you a heads up. There is such a thing as a quarter-life crisis.
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Growing up's tough, but it's part of the journey.
It is part of the journey. We can't stop it. I'd love to stop it for a bit, but it's hard.
I'd love to stop it so I could raw dog and aged up femboy tails.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's technically ways in life that you can genuinely stop something. If, for some reason, we find out a way to freeze ourselves and then persevere our own bodies, then we can stay alive and keep our youth, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe by the time we're both of men, they'll be able to do that thing where we can have our brains put in android bodies.
That's a possibility.
Kept alive by a slurry of nutrients.
That would be interesting. All right, say
And there's VR Cat also.
I'm thinking of being horny myself. I'm gonna go do something. Are you gonna be in here?
Are you leaving now, or are you gonna wait for Jordan to come back?
I don't know. What do you think I should do?
What would you like to do?
It was my fault. It's my fault, and I should apologize for it. So.
Well, I guess I'll see you around, Zap. Jordan should be back soon, hopefully.
I'm back.
Alright. See you later, Jordan. Zap just wanted to talk to you for a bit, was all, okay?
Alright. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I basically attacked you with that. I was pushing it a lot. I was trying to push you really hard because that's just how I was pushed. I was pushed in most of my relationships with my friends and those who've experienced life more than me. I had my buddy recently on a trip we were on. He pushed me into a corner completely, and I was forced to talk with him and vent about my struggles and frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked. We talked immensely, and he gave me the toughest of tough love he could possibly give me. And I just took it, and I was like, you know what? That really worked. I want to try it again. And I tried it. And I'm sorry that it didn't work for you. I'm sorry that I tried to do something to you that you didn't want. I'm sorry that I called you gay.
It's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
I get that you had good intentions. It's kind of like with Hunter Rev last week. He said sorry too for trying to push something where I didn't really have any issue. To be honest, it's like I understand you had good intentions, and I don't think it's just a misunderstanding of the situation. It's just like I'm sorry.
You're okay. It's me who should be really apologizing.
Okay.
Also, a bit about the people that are just like crazy art specific, like, hey, my commission isn't done yet. I want to apologize a bit for that, only because I just think that sometimes you forget about our stuff, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this now. and focus more on that. I'm sorry if it's annoying.
Well, it's good to be reminded. I don't forget about it. I mean, there's the person who commissioned me like 3 years ago, and I just finished their order like yesterday, essentially. Like, I don't really forget about that stuff. Even when I deal with the most hardest of issues where I can't work on their stuff, I still will go and do it despite all of that.
I see.
Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I don't like canceling things. I never want to cancel anything.
Yeah, I see that. Say, is it cool if I go hit the JJ?
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright. Jordan, love you, bro. I'll see you soon,
I
okay?
love you too. See you soon.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hello?
Oh hey. Yeah, I guess he just came. I guess he just came after the storm.
Bingo.
Yeah, the Mega Tank and Zap were kind of pressing into my personal life, and it made me upset, and I started to cry because I kind of went into deep stuff about myself, and yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I wish I was there to help, but I have other issues going on right here.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to help me with something, and they didn't understand that they were kind of just like it's like Saturday night, and I wanted to play a game to kind of just get my mind off things.
I hear you.
And that was kind of the thing.
I hear you.
I'm glad you're here now, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was listening to your podcast. Well, is that the right term? Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The point is I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
Um,
Yeah, I saw one of your messages. Like, I sounded younger. It's like, technically I did. This was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was surprised when I looked at I haven't watched the full thing yet because I have to. I'll be done with it in like a few months or something like that. But
Basically.
oh crap.
I was always strong. I wanted to be you. I was always zipper.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
So yeah, I was looking. I looked at the date of the last episode, and I was surprised that it lasted to 2022. I was like, "Hey, I didn't know you were doing this." Till then,
Oh yeah.
I thought I thought the last episode would have been like in 2018 or something.
Oh no. Believe it or not, this was a project we wanted to start all the way back in fucking
2015, maybe even earlier than that. But we never got around to it because the technology we had at the time was just so awful, and we were using Skype to do that. So you can imagine how bad that was.
Hmm.
So it was a combination of things. It was basically an evolution. It just went into the live format. I'm gonna be honest. I want to talk to her about starting that up again if possible, and seeing what we could do basically.
Well, I don't know if it'd be
Mhm.
possible, but if you wanted me as a guest for something, I'd be down to do that.
Well, you know what's actually funny? There was
But
this one podcast idea I wanted to do specifically for like the not safe for work shit, and it was going to be called No Taboo Hour, right? And the
mhm.
idea is that we would just have basic like I noticed this in like Pornhub and places like that where people will have like full on philosophical discussions underneath like extremely erotic porn videos. I'm like, there seems to be a market for this. So it was part of that idea. Then it was also to interview like smut artists and people like that and kind of give them an opportunity to kind of like get their ideas out there, say like, hey, this is how I got into this and yada yada yada. It's basically to humanize everyone who does porn.
Mm-hmm.
Was kind of an idea I've had. I mean, I still want to do it. It's just I don't know who I would work with in terms of this, in terms of like who would be the individual I would speak to, how long should it go for, should it just be an hour, yada yada yada. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's been one of those things where it's like it's a simple premise, but it's a
So just
pain
full
in
on
the ass to
interview.
get everything.
So just a full on interview, basically.
And also just like if there's no one to interview, just kind of discuss the various aspects of porn, and that's about it. But I don't think this would be a long running sort of shit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking like maybe 5 episodes at most, and then you wonder, it's like, okay, how many times can you say I really enjoy the specific thing without it getting
Mm-hmm.
repetitive?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. And to be honest, Jordan, I honestly, if I was to do this, I would love you as a partner for this sort of thing because you're really kind of down to earth.
Oh yeah, I've thought that a lot. I mean, I'd probably be a good voice because a lot of people dehumanize people who work
Hmm.
on not safe for work stuff, and I will admit a lot of artists don't really help with that because they often they're not really as down to earth about things. They're kind of like very secretive. So
Obviously, because it's like I want to break into the artistic world. How the hell am I going to tell them I just do gigantic asses on the side panel? It's kind of like what happened to Animated James when people kind of put two and two together with him and how that whole situation blew up essentially. It's like when you have too much of a distinctive art style, it kind of, is a detriment to you.
yeah,
But honestly, I'm kind of like humoring is like, how would we do this kind of thing? And like I don't want to make it like an exact copy of the previous podcast, like not the same sort of setup and things. I don't want it to just be a black screen or anything like that. I'm thinking about maybe doing some sort of render and then kind of like have characters on it or something like that. Like something simple.
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I'd only do that if you were down for it, really. And there ain't many people out there I trust to kind of like discuss this sort of shit with.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen my YouTube content, you might know that I'm kind of
Mhm.
decent at it. I would say.
Mhm. Fair enough. But I'll think on this a bit more, and I'll see if, like, again, if you want to join in on this sort of thing, I'll see if we can like set up something for like the weekends or something. Like something to get away. Not like consistently uploading or anything crazy like that. It's more like whenever we have an opportunity to do it, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, sounds like a plan then. And the plus side is that we're both 3D, and I use this in air quotes, artists. So we could create renders however the hell we wanted to. So it isn't just going to be one guy doing everything.
Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm. But Plus, I think it would be a great way for you to kind of like express your, not frustrations per se, but sort of like express like your beliefs, like how you've been approached by things, and kind of vent your side of the story a bit more, you know, without it being like a one-sided "I hate everything" sort of rant.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my suggestion. I've also been working on something on my end. It's mostly just I got back into Sonic Smut, so I made like a little doodle on my end, basically, that I really like. I might show it on the server in a bit, assuming everything works. That is. Funnily enough, I'm slightly pissed because one of the models caused my whole system to crash, and I had to start over again.
What model was it exactly?
So the image was supposed to be of Where Rouge, Where Amy, and then Femboy Tails in the middle, like kind of like hanging out on a beach, naked and half, like a kind of wholesome thing. And then I wanted to add in like a little bit of like humiliation aspect, so I wanted to include a shrunken down Surge, like being smothered by Femboy Tails' nutsack at the front, right? So I load up the model, I get her into a pose, and then I proceed to what's it called? Load up the shrinking tool I have, right?
Yeah.
The second I clicked that, everything crashed. Full stop. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did this happen? Because these models don't cause that problem. You know, you saw from the images I sent you before, where I can shrink a model down to an actual, like, tiny form and kind of work with it. But, I don't know what it is. I think it's just, like, the Surge model specifically, because it's a slightly newer design. It might have caused that. I also assume that it's going to either do with like the feet model they used for her, or like some of the polygons or something. Regardless, it caused the whole like system fuckery, and I was like, god damn it, okay, I'm gonna skip that now. But I got back to the doodling and everything like that. Funnily enough, I started this entire thing with the intent of creating concept art for the Chaos Bun stuff to kind of like illustrate what I was thinking, but I was running into like problem after problem with the model specifically, and like exaggerating proportions. You know how like when you inflate a model's like aspects, the textures and everything start to get a bit fucky from certain angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after a while I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work. I'm not a master like you when it comes to like fucking with a model's proportions to actually make something creative, you know? I mean, for crying out loud, that the latest animation you did really emphasized that aspect as well.
Well, it's also camera tricks too. I in my older animations, I used to think camera tricks were just cheap, in that they weren't realistic, and I had to make sure it looked good from all sides. But I realized that limited a lot of stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of ways, when you're doing like something that, like, okay, how do I put it? It's like this. Think of it whenever you're doing that as a set. You know, you are only showing the audience the thing you want them to see, and not everything around it. Like, for example, when you do like an internal shot of like inside someone's stomach or something like that, that's a separate model you load up still within the map. You just do some source filmmaker magic to make it look like it's in a completely different place.
Yeah.
And thus the illusion is still preserved. Everything else basically kind of falls into a different direction, basically. The problem is that I did notice that there were some issues with that animation in particular. I could tell your heart wasn't in it, because it's dealing with like stuff you're not really into. So I could see like, okay, he's cheaping out on some stuff. I can see what's going on here.
Yeah, you could tell I'm not really into gay stuff.
Exactly. So I was like,
Yeah.
Which again, I'm kind of regretting putting that whole commission thing on you, because it's like I did the exact same thing, and the product's probably just going to be as quick as that.
I mean, the problem was that Mega Tank today, when he was having that conversation with me, because my girlfriend, well, she was trans and I didn't know she was. The point is that they were calling me gay and were saying, "Oh, you like a guy," and that and they're saying, Zach was saying, "Oh, you're gay because you." Well, they were pretty much calling me gay because of the femboy, and they're saying, "Oh, no, you're gay or bisexual,"
They're trying to pressure you into it.
Well, yeah, they're trying to pressure me out of the what is it called?
Mhm.
They're pressuring me about the relationship and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it's like they were trying to.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No, I mean the whole girlfriend thing. I didn't know that, and frankly, I don't care. Not like I don't care that you have a girlfriend. It's more like, oh, she's trans. I'm saying it's like, do you love her? It's like, yes. Okay, then it doesn't fucking matter what she.
The problem is that she lied about it, and she didn't tell me until like later. I didn't know about it. That was the only problem I had. But
how has that changed? Like, okay, I'll ask you a very serious question. Do you know now that she's trans? Do you love her any less than you did before?
Well, I don't like the fact that she lies a lot, but I haven't really
processed
that much. Well, yeah, I haven't processed it.
If your heart still says I want to be with her, regardless of what she is, then it doesn't fucking matter. That's how you should approach it. Again, I can't tell you, oh, she lied, therefore don't trust. It's like, you have to come to those decisions yourself. But in terms of this, if people are saying, oh, you're gay, blah, 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 because, oh, she's trans, it's like, I still love her. I don't give a fuck what she is or isn't. You can have your opinion. You're fucking wrong about it, but you can have that opinion. And that's it.
The problem I had was that they were just like... And the problem I had with it is that she's done a lot of, like, crappy things to me, and lying about that kind of just made me not care that much about her anymore. She pretty much lied about who she was.
I see. I wouldn't say that she lied, per se. It's more of a situation where I've had a few trans friends here and there. I've had, like, opportunities to speak with them and things of that nature, right? To me, the trans issue is more complicated to me. Not like, oh, trans people are this. It's more like, I don't give a fuck. It's your choice. I don't agree with it half the time, but hey, whatever you do to make you happy, right? But the common issue I see with people is that they have a very difficult time admitting to their partners that they're trans. And the reason why is because there is this fear of, if the individual finds out that they were born, let's say a dude, let's say a girl, whatever, right, and they transition, they're petrified that that individual who they care about will leave them the moment they find out. They'll just say, they'll assume that, I've lost all sexual interest in you because there's still bits of penis or still bits of vagina or whatever the fuck it is, right? And that's why a lot of them don't flat out say, by the way, I'm trans. It's kind of like the similar situation where if you have a gay friend, they don't immediately introduce themselves as, hi, my name is Robert, I like men, It's an individual sort of, choice. It's a shitty thing to do that they don't want to tell someone, especially someone they really like. But at the same time, I can see why. It's because, again, it's that fear of this person might leave me and I'll be miserable because, it's this stupid thing I'm dealing with and it's driven somebody else off, basically. So on that front, I don't think we should give her that much shit for, because it is a very difficult thing to come out to someone and say, hey, this is my situation, basically. Now, if anything else she's lied about, then you should be like, hey, I'd like it if you at least be honest with me, that you could at least respect me enough to do that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I said. I was like, hey, you didn't have to, the fact that you lied about me kind of just shows how you don't trust me, despite the fact that I've told you times and stuff like that,
Exactly. Again, this is where it gets kind of sticky, and this is where my advice just kind of falters, because when it comes to relationships, I'm gonna be honest, I am awful with this shit. Again, I was married once, I am divorced, I have no interest of seeking romantic partners with anyone else, I'm just not built for it. So trying to give advice to people is like, oh, you should stay with them, you should leave them. It's always kind of like either I'm being blunt about it or I'm just trying to reassure people at this point. When it comes to this situation, I know that your mental state is kind of like a roller coaster, basically, and you don't get that many W's in your life. And I don't know much about this girl to say, oh, you know, she's a snake, avoid her, or she just has issues being trusting people. I can't say that, you know. This is between you and her, and there's only so. And my only advice is try to make it work if you can. But if it's clear that one side isn't giving, then the other is giving, it might be time to consider looking for someone else.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff you don't know about it, but she's kind of done a lot of shitty things to me. A lot of lying, a lot of treating me like shit, and that's what they were pressuring me about. But the thing is that I'm kind of not in the mental state to deal with it right now because. So
okay, then we won't push it further.
Yeah, they were pretty much acting like, oh, you break up with her now. It's like, I can't. I'm working on a project with her. I have, like, it's like freaking, what is it, day before work or whatever. It's like, I'm not, like, in the mental state to deal with another drama, you know?
Exactly. There is a time and place for everything, and now is not the time to start a breakup.
Yeah.
Then again, if that's the case, then okay, we leave it at there. If you need my help when it comes to this, I'll be there to give you a hand. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But only when you're ready to do this. I don't like pressuring people into admitting or doing something, especially if they're not mentally prepared for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, they were kind of just like pushing me about it, and I was telling them, yeah, you can't like do this. I'm not ready for this. I'm just like, I'm going for
they misattribute tough love as the right thing to do in this situation versus this isn't the time for this. They're not mentally ready for it.
Yeah.
Which makes a bit of sense. I mean, my conversations with Zap in private are often like, he's someone who has self-esteem issues. I can tell because he's living in the shadow of his siblings. But he's got a brilliant future ahead of him. I can see it. He just needs to have a win at some point and prove to himself that he is that success. Megatank is he's difficult to kind of explain. It's a sense of like he means well and he's not like malicious, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand social cues. He doesn't understand that there's a time and a place for everything, and like he can work for like if a situation has no topic to talk about, he can provide that assistance, but he's not the individual you go to, you know, for long form conversation that doesn't interest him, basically.
Yeah.
And that's all I can really say at this point. It's just, like I said, there's a time and a place for everything, and there are just times where where these sorts of issues need to be discussed and times where they don't need to. And again, like I said, I get that you got a lot going on in life and, you know, you need those moments of peace, you need to get mentally set, and for that, like I said, I don't want to push you into anything, I want to give you that space and I want to help you when you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
There's like I'm working on Five Nights at Freddy's 3, right? And she's involved with it, sort of. You also have the fact that I have permissions to do for her. It's like I can't just say break up. I can't just say that. There's a lot of stuff I have to settle first, you know? And it's like honestly, she hasn't treated me well. She doesn't really care for me. At least I don't think she does. And
have you talked to her about that?
Yeah, I remember she was like being very emotional, abusive, and I was saying, "Oh well, that's such a nice thing to say to your boyfriend," and I told her about it, and she even admitted that she's been like abusive to me, and I don't know. We kind of were going to break up, but then we kind of decided that we couldn't because we didn't want to deal with the drama of it.
Then it fed back into itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Alright, I see the problem then, but like I said, now is not the time to plan out the future, you know? At least in terms of this sort of shit. Because I can hear it in your voice. You're trying desperately to keep going, but you also have a lot you want to say at the same time.
Yeah, like, you also have to take into fact that she kind of, like, I don't know, she just really, she doesn't seem to care, but I always did care. And then after that whole thing happened, I stopped caring for her, and I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like nowadays I don't really talk to her unless she talks to me, and it kind of just feels dead, and it's like, I was the only one ever saying such nice things
The
in the
spark is gone.
Yeah.
It's no longer a loving relationship. It's now a relationship of convenience. Now, you both have something the other needs and wants for their own sakes, basically.
Yeah, and also I will admit, part of me is kind of like, I'm kind of bad at being like, it's also the fact that she was like she's the second girlfriend I've ever really had, so it's kind of like, it's kind of, I kind of like don't know if I really want to. I don't know. When I didn't have a girlfriend, I felt like such a big loneliness in me, and I felt really sad about things sometimes.
You became like ESP one time of you.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a lot of attachment I have to this individual, and that's a problem.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. When you find that person that completes you, and then when things have to end, you feel like you've lost a piece of yourself with them, and you start wondering, it's like, how will I ever live without them? How will I do anything in life? You know, this sort of problem. And the situation with you right now is that, like you said, this is your second girlfriend you ever had, and so naturally, it's a situation where you feel like you want, the first one was a failure, you feel like you want this to be the success because you feel like it'll complete you, it'll keep you happy, it'll keep you going, essentially. But that's not really the case. And again, I'll give you like some solid advice when it comes to this. The expression "there's plenty of fish in the sea" isn't just an expression that's cliche. Basically, any relationship will be there. There will always be someone out there that you'll find. Relationships are complicated. They're decent of themselves, but just because one ends doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean you'll never love again. You'll never move on. And that's not the case. You will move on. You will find someone again. It just takes time.
The issue I have is the fact that there's a lot more pressure to it because there's not a lot of girls are into this stuff, the fetish stuff. They find that kind of repulsive. And a lot of girls in my generation, a lot of them say they hate men and stuff like that, and I just and I feel like I don't know.
They don't want a partner. They want a living sex toy. That's what it is, basically. And that's the unfortunate truth of the matter, is that there are people like that. Now, the ironic thing is that you'd be surprised how many girls are actually out there into this sort of shit. I know 2 women, or actually 3 women, who are into this sort of shit as well, which is surprising, and surprised me to say the least. But don't assume that there aren't people out there. You'd be surprised just how many people are into this sort of shit. You just need to examine, look around, and just kind of be confident. I guess that's the main thing about it, Now, of course, this is just gonna be joking now. It's like, okay, alternatively, you could try to become gay and might get some success with some dude. I mean, it's a little easier that way, but no, I'm kidding.
Nah, not really, mate. I don't really find men attractive.
Mhm. No, that's fine. Again, I completely understand it.
And I'll admit that's part of the reason I was when she told me she was trans, I was kind of like, yeah, you're biologically a man, and you didn't tell me
Mhm.
about it, you know.
On the and that's where I can see like Zap and Megatank's kind of arguments. Like, technically speaking, you were fucking a dude, but
Yeah.
also technically you're not. It's
Well,
Schrodinger's penis at this
I
point.
find it ironic coming from those two, considering what they
Mhm.
believe in.
Yeah.
Also the fact that I don't know. And I
Mhm.
kind of find it funny looking back, knowing that my freaking former
Mhm.
friend Mara, she was saying the guy was a dude, and yet she goes on about transphobia and all that stupid bullshit.
Mhm. Like I've said before, we're not at that point where we can make these gender jumps like they want. Genetics isn't there yet, they're not malleable enough, and our cybernetics department isn't exactly the most advanced shit either. Like, I've often said it's like, I believe in transhumanism, specifically. I believe in the aspect of replacing inferior pieces of organic matter with mechanical augmentation. I believe in that completely full sail. I mean, for God's sakes, I got a metal plate and a spinal implant in me already. And part of my jaw is also missing, so keep that in mind. And yet, that's like, okay, this is why I want to kind of push forward for this. But we haven't reached the point where we can have a mechanical penis attached to a woman or a mechanical vagina attached to a dude and it feel right, It's not
Yeah.
there yet. And it's gonna take like 50 years before we can even come close to that shit. And again, medical augmentation in terms of like biology, we're nowhere near that either. I mean, our cloning tech is like decades behind anything you could possibly realistically do. Like, you can't just lop off your penis, grow a vagina in a petri dish, and then try to sew it onto an individual, or sorry, graft it onto an individual's body and have it fit. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds. So, like I said, if people want to mutilate themselves, by all means, go nuts. I don't judge. I don't care. That's been my motto, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like, learn to not care about the world, and you'll be a much happier person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found the whole situation weird that they were just like kind of,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Pushing you into this sort of
Yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah. And about the whole finding a new girlfriend thing, that was something that really hurt me a lot because, especially because I remember freaking Mara. She used to freaking say, "Oh, you're an incel because you don't have a girlfriend and you only treat a woman like an object or whatever." And she was saying that, and it really hurt me because that wasn't true. And considering the way I've treated my girlfriend, despite everything, despite the abuse, I still treated her really nice. I told like everything I told her, I just wanted her to tell me. Like she couldn't
Yeah,
ever tell me that she was really
you
into
wanted
me.
that reciprocal emotion. That's what you were after.
Yeah, I wanted her to be very energetic and happy talking to me and talk about how she loves me, and that's what I tried to do with her. But I don't know, she just
It never
never would give it.
happened.
Yeah, and that's happened with many relationships I've had with women, and it sucks because I wanna have the relationship where it's with someone who gives the love back, but a lot of the time it's not like that, especially in a not safe for work community.
It's because a lot of people. The problem with being into porn and then making it a hobby and a profession is that the emotional attachment is lost. Essentially, you start seeing the other partner as the latest sex object and craving, and thus the emotional section is starved. Thus, you become starved for emotional gratification. You're starved for companionship and many of the aspects that come from a loving relationship. That's kind of where the whole like boomer thing comes from, because these are people who are so desensitized to this nature, they basically can't see the world in like, you know, someone completes me or emotionally happy, or I can give my life to this woman I love or this dude I really care about. And when you say that, like, you know, you give everything to them and that you don't get anything back, that is a common issue. And this is often like, especially when I look at things like in media and stuff like that, where you see some guy going to hell and back for some woman, and I can't help but wonder, would she do the same if the shoe was on the other foot, or would she just leave you the rock in your face, you know? It's a terrible thing to consider, but you really do have to wonder. It's like, would your partner do the same thing for you? Of course, outside of like putting them into a Saul-like situation.
Yeah, I had to ask myself a lot of the time for her. I came to the conclusion she wouldn't a lot of the time. She, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, because I was abused, I didn't realize she was abusing me. Right? She was like,
Right.
because the way my mom treated me, like I felt like it was normal. I thought this was just how people acted. And then when Zach was
Mm-hmm.
pointing out this is not how my girlfriend treats me, before he figured out that his girlfriend was a groomer, that's kind of when I realized some things weren't as they seemed, because, you know, at first we were fine for like the first like 2 weeks, but then it
In the
kind
honeymoon
of,
stage.
yeah, and it kind of, I don't know, I guess that whole sexual gratification, like, I wasn't seeking that from the relationship. I just wanted someone to love, someone I could flirt with, someone I could lay upon the fat ass. But, anyways, but I just using that blood food. But the point is that they were. I just wanted someone like a partner, like someone I could like really rely on. That's all I
Right.
wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that like. I didn't really just want it just for the sexual stuff.
Right. There's no sexual thrill to it. It's all, you're after someone to emotionally heal you, essentially, because you've been abused for so long. You naturally seek. You're subconsciously thinking to yourself, there has to be more to this world. It can't just be all this awfulness, and that's completely normal, especially in someone like you, in your position. Basically, the problem again is that you've just been unlucky. You've wound up with two individuals who treat you the exact same way, and that really isn't the case. And that's the unfortunate thing. It's like, especially when you're trying to like find someone in like say not safe for work communities and things like that, it's really difficult to find that, to get that, or to find an individual who wants to be with you because they want to be with you, and not just because I can get free shit from them, you know.
Yeah.
And again, which is terrible. And you know what honestly sucks about this entire situation too?
What?
Like, I feel like I want to be that person for you, but I can't because I'm a guy, and I'm about several years older than you, so it's gonna be weird as fuck. But you know what I mean? It's sort of like, how to put it? Don't take it the wrong way is what I'm trying to say. If I could, I would want to be that person who gives you that emotional support you're looking for, but I just can't.
Yeah, I just.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of feel weird, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about the fact that like it took me
Mm-hmm.
18 years to find like a find a I guess
Partner.
yeah where
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel I kind of get scared of wanting to break up because I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to wait. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna be hard to find someone that would actually accept me for who I am, especially with how high standards are nowadays and how many people just aren't really genuine about their love anymore.
Right.
And it's like I just feel I don't know, and I will admit there was something she did, I think it was, sorry if I'm going a bit off topic, but I remember she also
go ahead.
threatened to break up with me a couple of times to kind of, well, I guess kind of like, I guess abuse me. And I would try everything in my power to stop that because I was so attached to her and I loved her, and I was like, and I was like, and I kind of just, I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean. No, it's fine, it's fine. It's good that you're opening up like this. It shows a great level of trust between us. I see what you mean. She put you in a position where she knew she could manipulate you. She knew that she could use her being with you as a means not only of control, but basically to get you, to break you, essentially. Her goal was to basically prove to herself, less so to you, that I'm the dominant one, and if I wanted to, I can just, throw my weight around, throw these kinds of tricks. It sounds like when it comes to her, she wants to be the dominant party. It's possible that maybe she's been talked down to, treated poorly, basically
she was
been
abused by her parents too.
Then there we go. There it is. So she wants to avoid feeling like that again. And so she seeks to be the abuser now in an attempt to heal this broken psyche of hers. Thus why she treats you like garbage. Because it's the only thing she's ever known and understood, and thus believes it's the most normal thing in the world. Hence why she treats you like garbage with the explicit intent of basically putting herself out of that situation and being the one in power, being able to control, take back her life, essentially, and prove to herself and the world, I'm not a victim. To prove it, I'll victimize this other person. Therefore, I will be the stronger of the two.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't do that to people when I was abused. I don't know why.
Because, and don't take this the wrong way, you're very submissive. That's the issue. You take everything. You never stand up for yourself. You never kind of bite back unless it's absolutely necessary. So it's very easy for people. It's very easy for you to fall back into the same victim state every time. Like, for example, if I was to start bad mouthing you and shit like that and say like, oh, this is your fault because you're so awful, blah 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 blah, right? You would likely kind of go like, yeah, maybe you're right, and subconsciously agree with that and allow this to continue without realizing it, because the defense of your brain is, if they are doing this to me, then it's clearly my fault. It isn't their fault at all. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Like, for example, Zap was able to get you to do the Tails animation for two reasons. One, he paid you in advance, which forces you in a position where you have to do the commission. There's no, like, negotiating out of it, basically. And two, he was able to get you to do it even though you're not into Gayson. Thus, this is a perfect example. Or with Mega Tank and things like this. Now, again, that's not necessarily to say they're strong-arming you into this in a negative sense. It's like when someone does pay for this and you don't say things I won't do, like, clearly, you kind of you're put in a position where you have to do it as part of the contract you have with that person, to keep the business going and everything like that. But at the same time, this is kind of what leads into this, keeping you kind of under the thumb of creating shit, As horrible as it sounds.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's not much I can really say outside of that. Like, the difficulty about someone like you is, it's very difficult to help build up your self-esteem. Because if I say things like, light a match under your ass, basically kind of get out there, be self-confident, be self-motivated, you would agree with that, only because I'm being the dominant one saying you need to do this, and not so you taking that information saying I need to do this because I want to make that change. That's kind of the issue as well. You know, it's very easy to take orders. It's very difficult to be the lead.
Yeah.
And what sucks is that as much as I'm acting as your therapist right now, I don't have the training to actually help you when it comes to this sort of shit. I can't say like you need to take this crazy person pill or do these exercises to become a better person. I can just advise and try to be as supportive as I can. That's really it.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's a lot I do want to talk about this thing. It's just that I can't think of it right now because, you know, it's just a lot to go over. And there's a lot I do want to say about it. It's just like
Now it's not the right time.
it's just kind of like, yeah, there's just a lot of like reasons to why I just kind of don't want to be, you know, I don't want to deal with a breakup right now, and part of me is scared of just not finding love again. That's one of the big reasons, and people using the breakup against me in some way to be like.
Let me give you another bit of advice. Love is not just purely relationship based, purely you love someone because you have a physical attraction to them or a physical desire or anything like that, right? Love can be completely platonic. You can find that with just friends, people you really, really trust and adore, you know. It doesn't need to be relationship. Like I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who will say they love you purely out of being a platonic individual, purely because that's what a friendship is. It's part respect, part respect, and part emotional compatibility and admiration for an individual. And like, I can see it here that you're falling into the trap of love just means I need to find my sexual partner. And that's just not it. Love can be anything. It can be the compassion an animal feels towards you, a friend who really does care about who you are as an individual, to the point that they'll do anything to make sure you're safe or happy or well, or try to steer you away from awful situations. Love can be that which the family can provide, everything out there. There is love in this world. You just need to find the right one that fits you. If it's not relationship based, then maybe it's time to look into alternatives.
I guess so. I don't know.
As cliche as this will sound,
it's more of kind of the fantasy of having a partner that cares about me, I guess. Because, for example, when I was dealing with the abuse from my girlfriend, I kind of used Star as a way to substitute the girlfriend I've always wanted. And
you made a fetish.
A what?
A fetish. Let me explain. Before fetish became synonymous with sexual deviancy and all that stuff, it used to mean a familiar item, like with Wiccans and witches and things like that. A fetish was a icon or an object of basically either companionship or familiarity, or basically things of that nature. And so what you did was you created Star as your fetish, as your icon, as your groundwork to the thing that you want most in life. And you've essentially, I won't say substituted real compassion for that, but you have basically created like an effigy to that aspect or that concept. Hence, like, for example, why dating sims are so popular. They manage to create that facsimile extremely well to an almost disturbing degree.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I kind of just made her because I just wanted to see what you know, I just wanted compassion, so I guess I made my own. Kind of like everything in my life, I just make it myself.
Exactly. Again, nothing. Okay, I'll rephrase that. That is a bit concerning because that can lead to you replacing legitimate things that could help you, with substitutes, and that's never a good thing to do. So while it is healthy to do this to kind of get like this urge out, I'd strongly recommend being careful about how you do it and how often you do it.
Alright.
Again, I'm not trying to rob you of your comforts in life, far from it. I'm just saying it could be too easy for you to slip into like basically what the otakus or the oh god, what are they called on Reddit? The incels basically do.
Well, no, I'm not gonna pull a Christian and start saying that Star's my actual girlfriend and get a body pill. I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Oh no
fully
no no
aware of
no
that.
no 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 no! I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that they use their waifus and things as deposits for the emotional gratification they don't have, to the point that they stop seeking that. It stops becoming like a security blanket and becomes something that smothers them, essentially.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'll try my best not to.
Again, it's right. It's good to have your indulgences. It's advised not to let it control you. That's enjoy in moderation. That's
Yeah.
really what I can say of it. Oh dear. So if you would like to continue this, please deposit $50 into my PayPal so we can continue this therapy session. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. No worries. I'm not actually like annoyed or anything. Relax.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was just a little dumbfounded, I guess.
No, I'm trying to use comedy to alleviate some of the tension here because I can feel it. The tension is so thick I can use a knife to cut it.
Yeah.
It's so thick that as it walks, its ass claps with each step. Alright. So, let me ask, what are you working on right now, or what are you doing?
I'm playing Battlefield because I wouldn't have any motivation to work on anything after at work, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah.
You want to unwind and relax.
Yeah, like last week, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Pain. It's not good.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand completely. Again, it's difficult to find the motivation, especially if you're like work a really demanding job. You're like, finally I'm off work, and do I really want to waste like the next hours or so working on this project, or do I want to just kind of goof around and just kind of unwind and then put it off for tomorrow, basically? Again, I get that more than you can imagine, especially when it comes to my job and how long I work. It's like, I'm off the clock. I can either do something very small, talk to some friends, work on stories, or I can just spend some time just playing a video game and just letting my mind wander and relax. And I often find myself doing the latter.
Yeah. Sometimes I get very stressed out about the decisions, and then I don't make any at all.
The indecisiveness kills you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, again, I understand completely. Honestly, I can't. I mean, that's something I've always found interesting, is the fact that you play these older games, and yet you have such an, I don't want to say eclectic taste, but you don't have many games that you play like just by yourself to unwind, do you? You always have like some online game you play.
I do have a couple. It's just I don't really play them as much anymore. Like Gary's mod, every time I play it, it just crashes every time I load in for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I think I might know why. You either might have, there either might be some, what's it called? Some add-ons that are conflicting, or you may have some things in your, what's it called? In your private add-ons folder that's also causing problems. The fix is usually just check the integrity of your download cache, and then check your add-ons and everything. Make sure nothing's conflicting with anything else.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
Trust me, I've run into that problem a lot. And you know what actually really irritates me, like beyond words?
What?
Whenever I try to use like a source model and I think, oh, this won't cause my Gary's mod to crash, and then it just, the moment the model is loading in, look at that, it crashed. And it's like, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, it is beyond like irritating. It's like, I really want to do this kind of shit instead of just writing it out, and I can't do that because life hates me.
Yeah.
But again, don't let it destroy you. Just kind of go like, okay, I'll just wait for someone to port it over, and then I'll deal with it. Never underestimate the horny. People will be desperate enough to put shit into the thing if they, again, if they're horny enough for it. Also, I want to bring something up here real quick. This is about the commission I did request for, or did pay for. Would you mind changing that to something that you're comfortable with?
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely. Like, as much as I would love the idea, like, again, it doesn't necessarily need to be Tails. It can literally be any chick. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I'll think on one of the girls to replace Tails with, so no worries there. Again, the only thing I ask, huge ass.
Yeah, well, I think I'm pretty decent with that as of late, so...
My dude, you are a master of this.
I am?
Yes. It's weird because, how do I put it? You've mastered the aspect of creating hyper characters without going overboard with like custom models. Okay, let me ask a question. Do you know an individual called Night Soil on
Yeah.
FM? Exactly. He uses Photoshop and things like that to basically kind of get the effects he wants, but he also uses model tricks and things like that, right? You manage to do his job without using Photoshop. You go into something and say, I'm going to fuck around with things until it looks right, and then manage to make it look amazing. Like, it's not perfect, of course, like with the Tails animation you did. I could see where you added in the, what's it called? The other asset to create the ass with. I could see where it's like, okay, this is where it was kind of like altered slightly. But it's so minuscule, it doesn't ruin the illusion either. Like, that's the thing you've really got a handle on, which is impressive. You understand the limitations of your what's the word? You understand the limitations of your craft, and you work around those limitations, resulting in honestly a truly creative kind of aspect. Like, you purposely what's the word? You purposely make your animations loop and last longer because you want the individual to get that sort of like release story. It doesn't have to be that way. You just choose it to be that way because that's your preference of the whole, like, you said, I think you said it yourself once at some point. You didn't like how some animations skip over the best bit and just go right into the next part.
Yeah, I hate having to constantly press the rewind button.
Exactly. So you compensate for that by basically making the what's the word? You compensate for that by basically making the animation loops and repeat, and basically give that person the opportunity to indulge without having to rewind the thing over and over again, which is completely fine. Now, for someone like me who's more like, oh, I would like this to kind of progress a bit more, not constantly linger on something, then I have the option of just pushing the fast forward button and just skipping around however the hell I want. But again, that doesn't ruin the animation for me. Again, you're not forcing me to sit through the whole thing. There's the fast forward button for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I mean. You mastered this craft to the point where you, like I said, you know the system inside and out, and you know how best to utilize it. You know this thing, and so you run with it. Again, it's a completely respectable thing. And it goes to show that you have a level of care for this sort of stuff that you want to do, which shows in basically anything you make nowadays. Now, of course, like I said, with the Tails animation, I could tell where you were just, your heart wasn't in it and you were trying to get it done as quickly as possible for Zap to enjoy. You know, like, especially towards the end there, where you basically looped the animation from two different perspectives and played and kept the audio running, basically, instead of splitting the audio into two different, what's the word? Two different, oh Christ, what's it called? Two different tracks or two different scenes, basically. Which is
Yeah,
continuous thing.
because he asked for another. I mean, he says he enjoys it. People say they enjoy it. Only you're ever going to be able to tell that, you know, that's the truth of it.
Well, again, it's because I've seen your animation so much, I can tell when you're really into something, because you spend ungodly amounts of hours working on the animation, working on that aspect, working on like over and over again, making sure every little aspect is perfect, and then it shows in the animation, like it has a certain fluid and motion to it. If you're just doing something because you're not really into it, you tend to fast forward it in your animation in the most like obvious way possible. You still put effort into it and you still try to make it work, but you're clearly trying to go like, okay, and let's move on, I really don't like this, let's move on. That's kind of like why with my animation, I had a feeling that since you're not really that into it, you would do the same. So that's why I kind of suggested the whole like, we don't really need to see what's going on, just add in a lot of noise and jiggle to give the illusion that something's going on. Oh, excuse me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm not saying this just because I want this my commission already done. It's more of a case of, how do I put it? I kind of know you inside and out by this point, in a weird sort of way. At least when it comes to like animation and how you do things. But like I said, it's impressive. Like the thing I will constantly, the thing I absolutely adore, and actually the thing that convinced me to come to you about the whole Chaos Buns thing was when you mimicked, oh god, what's his name? The guy who did exactly, when you mimicked it with Blaze and everything, and like the amount of work you put into it, the amount of time and effort, you studied every frame, you went through that whole fucking thing. It's like, how do I replicate this without it, you know, as clearly as possible with the limitations that I have? And the end result is just, you know, to use the expression, chef kiss worthy.
Yeah.
Again, it's why I even came to you with the whole Chaos Buns thing, because I thought, okay, he's proven he's capable of doing ass-based animations. Let's go for it. And yeah, that's basically, like, as weird as it sounds, that's basically what won it over. This one, I think, 30-second loop of you just having a jiggling ass.
I didn't think. Honestly, I didn't think much of it. I thought. Oh, I'm just surprised at that.
The reason why it's such a big deal is because, let's be honest here, a lot of your animation is a bit wooden in terms of like how characters move and things like that. But what's surprising about this is that you showed that you're not only improving, you replicated something somebody does on superior hardware in such a way that made it both your own and made it stand out. And all I could think is like, if you applied this to everything you did in your animations, then you would like seriously, you would be up there with some of the best smut makers out there, like Shocking and individuals like him, basically.
I mean, I plan on
Again.
doing that, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How long have you been doing this? About like maybe 4 or so years, give or take.
Since 2016.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's reword that. You've been doing this for a while, and you're gradually improving to the point where you're now just not doing cheap things. You're legitimately going out of your way to actually make something impressive and enjoyable. Like, you're not a master yet, obviously. There's still like some things you need to do. But you've gotten to a point where it's no longer amateur, basically. Like, people are nutting to it unironically.
Yeah. Honestly, they kind of always have been, which is a sad thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. There are some people who just nut to anything. That's the sad truth. But now you got people who would normally look at that and go like, I'll go with like Red Idols or somebody else's things. This isn't really for me. And now you're getting people who are like, holy shit, I kind of want to bust a nut to this. As weird as that sounds. Oh no. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, because now all I'm thinking is of the following. I'm going to commit great crime. I'm going to bust nuts in Water Tower. It's just stupid thing. It's like, on one end, it's such a like stupid thing to say, but also on the other hand, it's like, Jesus Christ, if he actually succeeded, that would be the most like impressive yet stupid crime you could ever do and get away with. It's kind of like saying, I've stolen a cop's donut and I ate it in front of him. It's like, it's still a crime, but it's such a small thing. Why would you get in trouble for it?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. I want to find out who did that whole bust nut thing, because I want him to like narrate some stuff in that tone, like something serious like Shakespeare. Oh fuck my life. Oh, there was also something I wanted to ask. So, what is your take on voice actors in general?
Well, I'd like to have some, but a lot of them weren't available, which is why I didn't really, you know.
Hire folks out.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean more like professional voice actors, like fucking, the chick who does Amy's voice, people like that, basically.
I don't have money for that.
No, I mean general opinions, not like would you hire them.
I don't know. I think they're kind of cool, but to be honest, part of me wants to have like my own style for it. If that makes sense.
No, I get it. Like you use text to speech and you try to make it sound seductive.
Well, it's not even that. I kind of wish my characters had their own voices. Like for Rouge, I kind of want to have her have a New York accent. I think that would like sound really good for
Okay. New York / Boston, or just pure New York?
Accent, you know?
Okay, I can see it. No, you know what's weird? I always imagined Styx would have the Boston accent for whatever reason.
That could be hot. The only reason I don't see it that way is because Well, I kind of chose a sexy voice for the. I don't know what accent it is, but I think
It's Indian.
Wait, what?
It's an Indian accent.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it was French or German.
No. The French accent is a bit more like this, where they try to have a bit more with their words, and the German accent is a bit more like this. It tends to be a bit gruffer and sort of that sort of issue, basically. They're very similar though, but for God's sakes, never tell a German or a French person that. They will murder you.
I didn't know. I was just like super like confused about
Mhm.
that.
Well, the reason that they're similar is because they have a lot of the pronunciations and phonetic tones are very similar. You know, like for example, when someone says like "Parlez-vous français," for example, versus someone who says something in German like "Guten Tag, mein Freund." They both have that sort of Flemish accent to it. You know.
Yeah, I didn't know it was Indian. I don't know. I got it from an AI site. It sounded like very seductive. I didn't, know what actual
You didn't.
accent.
No, I get it. Which again, that's what's always kind of weirded me out about it. Actually, is that it sticks with an Indian accent, and Indian accents aren't usually associated with sexiness, you know, because let's be honest, nothing in India is sexy.
Yeah. Well,
It's go
there
ahead.
are a few Indian porn stars I'm a fan of, like Horny Lily.
Yeah, but again, that's the exception, not the rule. Still, regardless, I think there are some voice actors on FA, and I think on oh god, what's it called? FA and this vid as well. I know that there's one chick who does like voice commissions. What's her name?
Cutie to Booty.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I tried, but she was like not available at the time, so.
That's it. You haven't tried to reach out to her since.
Nah, honestly, it seems like she's always like very like busy with stuff. That's one of the main reasons.
Makes sense. Again, it's the thing about recording shit is that it has to be good, or else you have to take multiple takes. And assuming she doesn't have like a phone setup, there's ways that you can mitigate the voice, like echoes and things like that. And rarely does it work. For example, when I did some voice work for a friend, I think you can hear it. My room/office is very echoey, is the thing. And so naturally, to mitigate that, I had to find a lot of padding. This resulted in me getting my like thickest winter blanket and then putting it over my head and torso and my microphone leaning into the screen so I'm close enough to the mic, but I'm not like breathing down its neck basically. And this led to like the most like uncomfortable session I ever had because I was sweating buckets. I was like I had to be careful not to pant or anything into the microphone because that would pick it up. And so naturally, if I fucked up, if I screwed up a line or something, not only would I have to scrap the entire recording, I would have to do it again in this like increasingly hot little space I found myself in.
Yeah.
So again, if she has like a setup like that, I can completely understand why she's like I can't really like commit myself that often because she would likely die of heat stroke by that point.
Yeah.
And that would be embarrassing as hell. Oh, what? Why did she die? What happened? Oh, she was recording the fart audio. What? Yes, dog. I agree. still, what I find interesting is that you use AI voices, actually. By the way, speaking of the AI voices, when you type up the text and things like that, you type it all out like a normal sentence, right? Spacing and everything like that. Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. I thought my audio died on me again. Right. Have you ever tried experimenting with, what's it called? Have you ever tried experimenting with, spacing the sentences and words a bit more? Like, further out than usual?
Yeah, a little bit.
What was the result, if any?
Was it? I don't exactly remember, but I think for Sonic Armageddon I kind of had that because there's a lot more dialogue and exposition.
That, yeah, and if at work, I noticed this with like a lot of AI generation things like that, is that if the sentence and the words, like certain words, are too close together, it can result in like the AI fucking up and saying something like, instead of it saying like, I'm going to head out to sea, it's like, I'm going to head out to the seas, something like that. It will mistake certain phrases or speed and things like that, punctuation and so on. So oftentimes, like, I think it's a good idea to kind of experiment with the spacing to have a bit more of a coherent AI, basically. It makes it sound more natural, I would say.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say. Is like, I'm just curious about how you kind of work with the voices and how you get things kind of like in that sort of, okay, it's not cringe, and I can kind of close my eyes and be in the moment, basically.
I'm not exactly sure, especially with I don't know, now with a lot of the voices on UberDuck got like taken down, so I'm gonna have to be making my own from now on.
Exactly. There was 12.ai a while ago, but
Yeah,
that was also that has
makes
its own
that
personal problems.
I think the guy who makes that is kind of an asshole.
Kinda. He's been getting like shit on from like all sides, and his site keeps getting like knocked down because there's just so much traffic. And instead of like sitting down and working on it, he's like, I'm not gonna do that because blah 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 blah. And it's like to the point where I'm just kind of thinking, it's like it wasn't. Isn't there a way to like save a version of the website like on the Wayback Machine or something like that, and then just keep that instead? No need to update, nothing crazy like that.
It might be.
If that's the case, then actually, did you ever try to do that with 12Duck, you called it?
UberDuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay, here's an experiment we could try. Go into the Wayback Machine, put in like the UberDuck URL, and try to see if you can backdate the time period before the AI voice, like some of the voices were taken, and then maybe use that from then on as a way to kind of like keep the versions of your characters the way they were, without having to resort to, my sensibilities and my paycheck,
Yeah, I think the people like the fucking voice actors make a big deal about it.
I've often said that voice actors are the lowest form of an actor.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't pretty enough to get into any actual like gigs. Basically, they weren't talented enough to actually do like work, as an actual actor, and all they have is their silly little voices, right? and a lot of times they only have a limited range, and they can't really do much with it. And yet they understand that, much like a normal actor, they can be replaced at any time with someone else who's basically gunning for the position. And so they are desperate to be kept as kept relevant, kept similar, kept whatever the fuck you want, whatever synonyms you want to use, because they completely understand that once they've been replaced with another voice who can actually do their job and do it better, that's it. There's no coming back from that. And so naturally, they're so territorial about their voice work and everything like that. Now, some voice actors out there are actually pretty decent, and they'll do things for the fans because they understand that, hey, without them, I'm nobody. Like, for example, before his tragic death, Lance Hendrickson actually recorded a voice recording for a gag that the Destiny community made, which was basically his character Zavala cursing out Kaido when she demanded them to submit to her. And it was just a joke. It's like, okay, we'll get some sound-alikes to do this instead. We won't bother the guy. He finds out about it and says, no, I got you, fam, and actually recorded the audio to the point where people have taken it and have just kind of remade the cutscene with that audio instead, and it's beautiful. Or people like David Kaye, aka the voice of Megatron back in Beast Wars and Robots in Disguise. He actively he takes work. That's the shocking thing. He will, if you contact him for a business purpose and say, hey, I'll pay your rate. Could you please do some voice lines for me? He'll fucking do it. Flat out, he'll do it. The biggest thing he's been doing is with Jobby Kong. Quote unquote voicing his toy Megatron, to the point where now they have a running gag of Jobby will try to slip in his iconic line of "put it in my ass," and David Kaye has consistently said, "I'm not saying that. I'm sorry, I'm not." To the point it's a running joke now. Basically, Jobby's trying to find ways to get him to say without it, or it's like when he's got him to say "glorious spread," he said, "That better make sense in context." Things of that nature, basically. Or the guy who voices Gabriel for Ultra Kill. He's so good to his community. They'll pay him 5 bits or something like that on Twitch or whatever. They'll give him lines to say as Gabriel, and he'll do them, and he has such a blast doing it. One of them was, they sent him a little script that was basically him as the character saying, quote, I fucking punted a baby. I did it like a fucking soccer ball, and I kept doing it. It was the will of the God that I was to do this. Minos Prime begged me not to do it. It's oh, Gabriel. What the fuck ever. He reveled in it to the point where people have taken the audio and animated the character, the angel Gabriel, punting babies like fucking footballs at soccer goals. Actually, there's one thing that really cemented him as someone you can legitimately hire to do stupid meme shit. Basically, there was a Twitch streamer who was playing Ultra Kill. I think he was either a high-ranked player or something like that. I can't remember the exact details. But he was sucking at the game. Basically, he was fucking up a lot, right? And so someone says, you should get Gabriel to come in and call you cringe. And he went with it. And he got the guy to come onto his panel, and he acted self-righteous about it, basically playing up the bit, to the point where it was oh god, what was it? There was one point where he says, voice actors get paid an hourly rate, Travis, and my rate is $200, and you asked for a rush order, so that will double the price. It'll be $400 for this pseudo-masochistic session. I hope you're ready to pay the piper, you fucking asshole. Oh, by the way, you need to rank up your style. It's fucking cringe. And I just asked, do you take Visa gift cards? And he just says, fucking die, and leaves the call. It was super, like, you could tell this wasn't a serious, like, I'm pissed off with you. It was just the character of Gabriel just coming in randomly, roasting the fuck out of a player, to the point where the community just exploded with joy. He also keeps doing this with, like, other shit too, like, again, like, on his Twitch streams, like I said, he'll play the character a lot. And so they've got him to say, like, cringy shit, like, at one point, what was it? There was at some point where someone says, is like, they did, like, that stupid ooh-woo shit, right? And he says, quote, "None of those words were in the Bible. Seek Jesus and send me the source code." Oh god, the guy he's a saint amongst voice actors. Like, he's one of the few where I'm like, I really hope nothing happens to you. I hope you get work because you are so good to people. But everyone else, no, you can all collectively suck it. Suck it long and suck it hard. Especially anime voice actors. I fucking hate anime voice actors. Especially the guy who does the voice of Goku. I fucking hate that guy with a burning passion.
Why? What's wrong with him?
He's an unrelenting asshole. Like, I remember there was one point where a friend of mine, like, we were at a convention, right? At Sean Chanel, that's it. We were at a convention, and my friend was a huge fan of Dragon Ball and things like that, and I was just there because, at the time, I was trying to impress a friend and, you know, trying to get merch and shit like that. Basically just being a fucking loser degenerate, whatever, right? And so he tells the guys, like, I'm a huge fan, and one day I hope to get into the voice acting scene, you know, like you. Is there anything that I could do, or, like, you know, basically he was asking him questions like tips and tricks, right? And Sean took that as, like, this is an up-and-coming upstart. So he said, don't even try. It's a cutthroat industry. You won't survive. Your talents are better used elsewhere. But not in a, like, supportive way, in a more, like, I'm being nice about it, and I'm telling you to fuck off because I don't want you anywhere near me.
Ah, so he sees a smaller person as competition somehow.
Exactly. And this is the problem with Japanese voice actors, anime voice actors in general. This is voice acting is a niche thing to begin with. Anime voice acting is even nicher than that, because the amount of people who can leave anime voice acting and then go into, like, professional voice acting for, like, TV shows and things like that is super fucking small. We're talking, like, less than 1%, right? And so naturally, they absolutely hate and despise the idea of new talent coming in, because that emphasizes the whole, I'm gonna get replaced at some point, I can't let that happen. And so naturally what winds up happening a lot is that they'll try and find ways to either discourage the competition or actively try to hurt people getting into the profession if they're not part of their, like, little clique and shit like that. Like, for example, the whole thing that happened with Vic Mignogna, for example. He got completely, like, dehumanized by his colleagues. And you want to know what it was about?
What?
Someone, a fan, went out of their way and got their names on little jelly beans and gave it to them as a gift, basically saying, hey, because I appreciate you, I've gotten everyone's names on these little jelly beans that they can all eat and enjoy, right? And I think it's the voice actress for Bulma in Dragon Ball or something like that. I forget her fucking name. I just call it cunt, right? He got her name from the bowl, ate it, and then said, I ate, you know, this fucking cunt. Like, kind of implying that it's kind of like a sex thing, but it really wasn't a sex thing. It's kind of like a joke. She took that as a personal slight against her and basically tried to do everything in her power to destroy him since then. All because of a fucking pun. This man's entire career has been dragged through the mud by this cunt, and everybody else has supported her because they, like I said, it's a super niche club, and they understand that the moment that they're replaced, that's it. They can't get work anywhere else. And so naturally, he's been doing what he has to. Like he's managed to get work in other places, but they have tried to cancel this man just because of a joke. And like I said, that's why I can't tolerate voice actors at all, or anime voice actors in particular. Like especially American ones, they are some of the most self-righteous assholes I've ever seen in the world, and that is saying something. The only individual
Oh,
I
kind of feel that way for Twitter artists as well,
Mhm.
because they're raging about the freaking AI art's replacing us. It's so freaking cringy, man.
Mhm. I'm sorry, if it does replace you, that basically means you either have to improve and get better, or get gone. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for like, oh my god, poor you. You can't charge an exorbitant amount of money for the trash you put out. It's if you weren't good enough to survive this, then you weren't good enough to begin with. Goodbye.
Yeah,
I know that's a brutal way of looking at it, but I don't care. I'm a very brutal and no nonsense kind of guy.
yeah, I know. I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel the same way about a lot of things because I don't know. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
these people acting like the victim. A lot of them aren't actually victims.
They're just they want the power a victim has because they don't have any power to begin with. And that is sad. It's like if you have no control over your life to the point where you have to basically victimize yourself for it, then like Jesus Christ, you are the most like miserable piece of shit I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're so insensitive because, you know, you've never been a victim before." Yada yada yada. I'm sorry, I'm the guy who's been shot, poisoned, and set on fire before, and that didn't fucking stop me. So frankly, I don't give a fuck. Your definition of victim is not the same as mine, and I'm glad for it.
I mean, these are the same people who say they get PTSD if someone calls them the wrong pronouns, so.
That always makes me laugh because it's like, oh, my PTSD. I'm like, have you ever had a PTSD episode? It is awful. You basically are reliving a horrible experience. Your brain's trying to save you from it. That is not, you know, PTSD is not being slightly upset. It's basically being so utterly unable to operate that you feel like you're trapped in your own brain.
Yeah.
These people, and these people are always like, yeah, and it's like, oh, it's like you've never experienced fucking PTSD in your life. I would love to give you my PTSD. Please take this away from me. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so sorry. It's just it's irritating. It's irritating to no end, and like I said, I wish a lot of these people would just kindly fuck off. Like again, in the past, we would make fun of these losers, rightfully so. Nowadays, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt. Like, I was it's kind of like a weird feeling when you just see so many people affirming these people's ideas. It's like, how different the world would have been if the Tumblr exodus never happened.
Exactly. Had it not occurred, the world would be a much better place. Basically, they would be self-contained to their weird little corner of the internet, and no one would have to put up with their shit. It would just be, oh, yeah, it's the Tumblr crowd. We ignore them. It's kind of like that. What's the word? It's kind of like fucking. Oh god, what's the name of that? It's kind of like the Lion King and that whole bit of like, what's that dark shadowy place over there? That's Tumblr, son. You must never go there.
Yeah.
God. It's again, I worry about the future, but I don't worry that much anymore. It's just you will either die because of nanobots, or you're just gonna like fuck off somewhere, and I'm just gonna be fine over here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can get like very like, I don't know, when you see so many people pushing this ideology you know is bullshit, and they kind of like outnumber you. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And I was talking, and I think I told you a bit about this. But there was this whole Mr. Beast drama, and it's like all the comments were just like, it's because his friend, like, there was just a bunch of freaking, I don't know, it was just a bunch of like trans stuff going on. And all of the people were calling, if anyone criticized his friend, they would say, oh, you're just transphobic. And all the comments on the video made by this guy criticizing him were all like saying, oh, you're just transphobic, and you're just all that shit. And it was on Twitter too, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I also felt the same when I saw like these people these people on Twitter literally calling someone who disagrees with them a Nazi, and seeing that tweet with so many likes. It's like, is this real? Is this real? Are we actually reaffirming these people's beliefs? And like, oh yeah, we'll just call anyone who disagrees with a Nazi now. This is something that we used to, like you said, we used to make fun of these people. And now a lot of people are just conforming to their beliefs. A lot of people who used to criticize these people conform to them, and it's just sad, because a lot of their ideas are very harmful, and their ideas where they're like, oh, they'll tell, like, how do I explain this? Their ideology is like very self-destructive, like with how like a lot of modern media is telling like a lot of young men that they're horrible people for simply existing. That's not going to end well for you. You're pretty much raising a generation of very hateful men with no freaking role models, and it's going to backfire a lot on the people, and all of the good progress you had made in society is going to be undone because, well, you just kind of used your talking points, I guess.
Or you abuse the labor force that would literally make things better for you, basically. Yeah. It's like, again, if you tell people, like, this is the thing they don't understand, especially when people are like, oh, men are horrible. It's like, okay, so you're volunteering to start the dangerous construction work, or you're volunteering then to do garbage shit. It's like, no, you're not, though. You just want to say this, you just want to sprout off at the mouth and do all the shit, but you don't want the actual responsibility that it comes with it, you fucking bitch. Not you,
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, it's just like not a good idea. It's like I'll admit, I feel like a lot of the modern woke is made up of women.
It is. It absolutely is. It's made up of mostly women or very, very hate-filled minorities who never let go of the hatred of the past and said, I'm going to do everything in my power for vengeance, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I said this multiple times, but I'll say it again. There was a point in my life, and this was really early on, where I was reading up on history, and I read up, I think, like, something about, like, I forget what it was or who it was, but it was basically, like, some organization/group who did horrible things, like, a long time ago, and I was like, okay, well, surely they must have gotten their comeuppance, and then I found out, I was like, no, they continued to do this until, like, centuries later, and blah, 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 right? And so, naturally, my reaction was, okay, that's not right. They basically got away scot-free. We should band together to make these individuals pay, or make those who profit from them pay. And then that's when it hit me, like, the more I thought about it, the more I started to realize, if we did this, if we just basically started, like, going after everyone, it would just create a cycle of hatred and fighting battles that are no longer worth fighting. What would be the point of, like, saying, we're going to march on Spain because they supported the Nazis during World War II, but they didn't really, like, fight for them, but they still profit off of the conflict, so therefore we're going to march on Spain and destroy everything, yada yada yada, and make their descendants pay. Like, that to me kind of told me, it's like, But then what would happen? Like, what would be the end result? We're not avenging anyone. We're fighting crimes that are decades old. Like, there's no point in it.
Yeah, you're putting the blame on people. You're telling people to constantly apologize for their existence when they're like, when they had nothing to do with the past.
Exactly. They had no involvement, no involvement, no understand. Like, literally, when we're born, we're not born with like the direct IQ memories of the past. We're born as fucking useless little, we're born as tiny little infantile shit machines that have no understanding of the world around us. No one's born with like the downloaded collected memory of our past. It's literally, it's literally just we're taught this shit. That's it. And so naturally, these idiots take it as, oh, it's you're taught to be racist or like shit like that. And I'm saying it's like, no, they're fucking not. They're being taught about their history, so these atrocities could never be done again. You stupid fuck.
Well, I think part of them know that it's bullshit and part of them don't. Like, I feel like there's ulterior motives behind it. They'll mask it as, oh, we're just doing it because we don't want people to repeat the mistakes, so they're not allowed to know their history, but I do feel like a lot of them are aware that, oh yeah, we're just doing this because we don't want people to know their history because we're, disgusting communists, essentially.
Yeah, basically. And I think that's what makes it worse, is that these are like, the past is evil to them because the past is the past. You can't change it. Now, again, to use Lion King as another example, you can either run from your past or learn from it. And they don't want to learn from it because learning from the past is an uncomfortable topic and they don't feel like they are mentally mature to handle it. And so naturally, this leads into this problem of, they want the past to be like sugar-coated and protected and soft and sweet and like all the shit. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. You can like approach difficult subjects in a certain way. That's fine. If you are uncomfortable with the subject material, you can find other alternatives that help you brush up on it. I'm not saying you can't, but trying to approach everything with safety scissors is not the way to go about it. You're basically, like I said, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and failure in the long run.
Yeah, it's kind of... I noticed that with freaking World War II games. Like, you had Call of Duty World at War, it had the Nazi stuff full on, and then you had newer games set in World War II, where they have to freaking they have to lie about history just to appease these people, because they'll get offended that, oh, there's no black women in this history, because they don't really... Like I think freaking Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I mean Call of Duty World War II, it literally had a black woman in the Nazi army. It's like...
That would never have happened.
Yeah. It's like you're literally just doing this to appease people because they're offended that a certain color of people weren't in the thing,
Historically, we're not a thing. If anything, this makes it even worse because you are trivializing history and the actual suffering people had or went through because it doesn't appease to your sensibilities.
Yeah.
That makes it infinitesimally worse by that omission alone. But of course, they can never approach that. They can never be the bad guys and whatever the hell they do because they're the good people on the side of history that are just simply trying to undo the horrible thing. It's like, no, you're actively creating division and hatred
there is
in places
no
that
right
you need
side
to go.
of history. That's what
No, there's just...
makes me mad when they say that. We're on the right side of history.
No, I've said this before, it's like, you would literally be the people who would submit to the occupying force because it's easier. That's what you are. You're collaborators, you're supporters. You're literally the type of people that would march alongside the Nazis just because you didn't want your way of life disrupted. back at me straight because I'm so woke and shit. It's like, no, you're not. You're just pathetic.
Yeah, like that type of stuff pisses me off.
It should.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate the double standards and the hypocrisy. That's what I really hate.
As people, like I said, as people should. It's like there's no shame in calling out these idiots. It's, if anything, you're doing the world a collective good. And I hate saying that. I hate using that expression, but it is true.
Yeah, I get you on that.
Alright, this one's done. Alright, but other than that, I can't really say much else in terms of that. Like, again, I hate hypocrisy in every waking form. I'm a hypocritical man as well, but I don't hide behind a veil of self-right.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same boat with that. I'll admit I'm hypocritical sometimes, but I will say I'm just like, you know. I'll just
You're
say,
honest about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm never a hypocrite. Of course, sometimes I'll fuck up where I'll say something and not think about it, and I'll realize, oh wait, I'm pretty much doing the same thing I'm supposed to be like against.
Exactly. Like, to put it in an, to use a, actually, I think this was before your time as well. Let me ask a question. Have you ever heard or know of a game series called Legacy of Kain?
I think I've heard of it.
Oh, okay, but you've never, like, seen it. Okay. The reason why I bring it up is because there's, the two protagonists have a moment where they speak to each other. And one of them wants to kill the other. Raziel wants to kill his master Kain because he killed him, so he's returning the favor. And so when Kain confronts him about why he wants to kill him, he will start saying it's like, oh, for the good of the world, yada yada yada. And immediately Kain cuts through it and just says, quote, let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We know there's no righteousness in this quest of yours. Your righteous indignation led you to this point. I counted on it. There's no shame in it. Hate me. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. And that's what I've often kind of modeled my stance on, is just the pure fact of, you know, if you have something, be honest about it. Don't fucking lie to me and, you know, to use an expression, don't piss on my boots and say it's raining. That's often what I want to say to these people. It's just like, don't hide behind some veneered shield of righteous wokeness or anything like that. Be honest.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind them that much. No, not mine. I would respect them more if they came out and actually admitted their beliefs instead of trying to be so snaky about it. The only reason they're being snaky about it is because they know that's the only shield they have to hide behind.
Exactly. The moral high ground is the only thing they have left, so they fight for it tooth and nail. And that's the thing that just irritates me. Like I said, if you got a belief about it, be honest. That's all I've ever asked of people, and I'll treat you in turn. You know, it's like but that's just my stance on it. Everyone else says something different, and again, I kind of approach it in the same way of, fine, if you're not going to be honest with me, then I'm not going to be honest with you. It's just how it will be then. Like, I've given you the opening, but you refuse to take it. So now we're going down the ugly. And of course, it's never any good. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this as well. Going back a second to the anime voice actor thing, I forgot to mention Mike Pollock actually started his career as an anime voice actor. I completely forgot that.
Well, everyone in the current Sonic cast sort of did, because of Sonic X.
True, but the thing about that is that with Mike Pollock, I remember this very clearly. He started his stuff in the '90s. Specifically, he was like voicing characters in like edgy animes and things like that. And then he later he got his opportunity with, I want to say, oh god, after Sonic Heroes, shortly after the original voice actor for Eggman died, Dean Bristow. He got his opportunity a little later because like I said, because of Sonic X, and he knew that, and he just fits the role so well that he just kind of got typecast into being Eggman all the time. Which is ironic because almost everybody else has been at least replaced once from the original Sonic games moving forward. I think Roger Craig Smith got replaced with the guy who did Chris Redfield of Resident Evil, and I think he came back for Frontiers, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's legitimately confusing, and again, it's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, these are like the exceptions to that whole anime rule that I kind of like. I'm okay with, since they kind of give the character a sort of persistent voice. But it's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. It's like with you and your AI voices, because you can't use the ones you used to have. You kind of have like this inconsistent direction with the character.
Yeah, that is true. That's why I was thinking of just generating my own with 11, seeing how that works.
I'd say go for it and see what happens.
You know, kind of having their own unique styles, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Or return to the text method, which is like, Jesus Christ. Funnily enough, because I knew you had that issue, that's why I kind of, like, when we worked on the Chaos Buttons thing, that's why I kind of, like, omitted character interaction at the beginning, but then I thought, no, we'll need to do something. It just can't be action. There's a narrative to this, so, we're going with that, then. Okay, fine, hey. But, yeah. Which is peculiar, to say the least, actually. Which reminds me, before I forget, I'm actually curious, when it comes to your, like, projects and things like that, specifically when it comes to, like, how the story goes, do you write the story out first and then character interaction, or do you do character interaction and then build the story around it?
I do it all on a notepad, and I kind of just go along as I go with the animation.
I see, so it's built as it goes forward, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot. I did find a map that could work for the island for that series as well, but the problem is that it's in Gary's mod. And I don't know if you know how to, like, backport Gmod maps into Source.
It's kind of a mixed bag if it works well, though.
How so?
Sometimes it will work, and sometimes it won't.
Is this like
for putting it into Source Filmmaker?
I see. So it's literally just a toss of a coin at that point.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. I'll need to keep that in mind then. But if it does work, it could be a suitable map for this place. At least, like, in between the sessions and things of that nature. Let's see here. Yep. Actually, I am curious as well. Again, did you have any, like, requests or desires for anything smut related, by the way? I'm kind of in a bit of a open request sort of mood, you know?
I'm not sure at the moment, but if I think of something, I'll try and give you it, I guess.
Okay. Like I said before, I'm very flexible when it comes to this sort of shit, so by all means go nuts.
Okay.
You good there? You sound like I'm losing it.
Losing?
Yeah, like your voice sounds like you're just fading out on me. Are you sure you're still good to go to continue, or? You want to start calling this a night by this point?
I'm just gonna finish this game and call it a night because I do have work tomorrow, and I do have to get up at 9:30. So.
All right. Actually, that was something I wanted to ask as well. When do you have time off?
For the next weekdays, I guess. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Sure. So you work certain days and then you don't work other days. Is that it?
I work on the weekend.
Okay, I see. Now it makes sense. Okay, I see. I'll keep that in mind then as we move forward with shit. Left shoulder. Oh god, my neck. Oh god, I hate getting old. Oh. Oh dear, I just thought of something horrible.
What was it?
Oh, no, just what was it? There's someone on YouTube who does like Source Filmmaker, or sorry, Gary's Mod. Animations are really good, and I remember at one point I spoke with the guy, and like I mentioned something in his animation where I said, you made a mistake here. Like I can see where you did this like the section where like there's a shootout and you used NPCs and things like that to simulate the shooting. At around this point, you can actually see the Combine in the background, and he just lost it. And I don't mean like lost as if like he was pissed off with me for pointing that out or like being nitpicky. It's more like he was screaming. He's like. It's not a big deal, man. It's literally just one thing I noticed. You don't need to lose your head about it. It's like, oh no, you don't understand. If you saw it, then other people will see it, and then they'll bitch at me, and then I just responded with, then you call them virgins and you move on. Oh god, it was such a good, just like, I didn't want to be the dick, but I unintentionally became a dick about this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's like, that's what sucks about that. Like, when you see something and you tell your friends, like, oh yeah, by the way, I noticed this here. I don't know if you caught that or not. And then they're just like screaming, it's like, oh god damn it, not again. Like when you're working on something, you don't notice the small imperfections. You're just kind of like focused on the macro of the story or whatever you're working on.
honestly, I've noticed every time I do notice it and I point it out, I feel like it's going to be bad. And then I always figure out that people are actually liking it. And I actually do notice a lot of it sometimes.
Okay. You take it in stride, basically, which is good.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to mention this. I'm not trying to like poo-poo on the parade or anything like that, but I did want to mention for the Tails animation, I did notice that there was a bit of a darkness problem going on, and I think my friend Gesture Mime also pointed it out when I spoke with him.
Yeah.
Were you trying to like experiment with the lighting, or was this just the map fucking up?
It doesn't. SFM, when it renders a video, it looks completely different when it's rendered to the preview. It makes it darker. All lights become much darker.
I see. So, what's the word? You didn't intend for it to come off darker than it was. It's just the rendering process did that. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there like a trick to avoid that, or
no?
Nah, shit. Alright. Well, hopefully when you do, like, dark settings, it isn't obnoxiously dark in the future, then.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's obnoxiously dark now, I'm just giving, like, a generalization. But still, I do enjoy it for what it's worth. Though, I did want to ask, for the last bit, for the crafting stuff, What model did you use for that?
Wait, the blast pit?
Blast pit.
What did you say?
I said for the last bit of the
Oh.
animation you just did.
Oh, the postmodernist the bed pack.
Postmodernist bed pack?
Yeah, that's what I use for the bed.
Oh no, not the bed. The last bit. The when Tails does the whole disposal part.
Oh, I use.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually. I don't know if it's public, but it's a
Or private.
source filmmaker model.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't
I've
know.
I've seen it a few times, but people say it's some tentacle they got or something like that. But I've never been able to find it, and I don't know if it's like you said, if it's a private model sort of thing, or if I'm just looking at the wrong places.
Honestly, I think it's the wrong places. Ghost Slime gave it to me, and then I used it, and I don't know. Honestly, I forgot where I get it. It's kind of like the thick base model I used for Tails. I
Okay.
don't know where I got it from, so that's the thing.
Well, if you don't mind, at a later time, of course, not right now. I can hear it in your voice. I am losing you big time. Um, when you get a chance, could you let me know, or could you look into the models you have and let me know um, what the crap you used for Tails at the end was?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. All right, let's see what time it is. Oh, jeez, it is late into the morning. Let's see here. Okay. You want to call it here for the night?
Yeah.
All right. We'll call it here then. Give me one quick second. Let me do something here real quick. Okay. So we'll call it here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll also take a look at the script you sent, and I'll give my input where it's needed. All right.
Yep.
All right. Take care, Jordan. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.